That is exercise. To write 35 marks, 4 questions will be given. One question is from. So, actually, I'm trying to lose some weight. I think being at home is very easy to gain weight because of lack of exercise and all. So, I'm just trying to walk and lose weight. So, I have watched to maintain how many calories I'm burning, how much I'm walking. Okay, so first thing is first, what we have is we have exercise to write 35 marks, 4 questions will be given, 3 for 9 marks and 1 is for 8 marks. So epidemiology, statistics, water problems, nutrition, 35 marks. Waters for 10 marks, case for 35 marks, and viva for 20 marks. 35 plus 35, 70, and 30. Okay, marks. So these are the questions. Many cases of cholera are reported from a village. Write the steps of management. DTO of a district has collected the following information from a PSC regarding tuberculosis problem. Population of a PSC, new cases detected during the year, X-ray suspected cases, total sputum positive cases, number of old cases, BCG given to calculate different indices of tuberculosis. A family consists of an adult man, an adult lady, and 2 children. And we have to calculate this one. So let's see. So these are orders: apple, wheat, safety goggles, tracking BP, rotavirus, ORS, low sand filters, sling psychometer, isoniazid, QLEX, raggy, carrot, lactometer, vitamin A syrup, isoniazid, rat flea, itch mite, potato, rice, safety helmet, iceberg, all this. Okay, so first see, this is a male housefly. This is a male housefly. Male housefly. Okay, this is the flea. Flea is rat flea. It is responsible for spreading of plague infection. Okay, adult lice, head louse, it might Sarcoptes cavis. So what is the name? Uh, what is the name for that? Sarcoptes cavi. It might itching all over body, getting worse at night. Okay, they form what? They form something called as what they form? Let me know in the comment sections. Itching all over body. So this is a Culex mosquito. So Culex and Aedes, they have siphon tube in the larval stages. Okay, so allows them to breathe. This is also siphon tube. This is a Culex larva. There is no siphon tube. This is Anopheles. So lack siphon tube. It is present on water surface parallelly. This is the Culex female mouthparts. This is Anopheles mouthpart. It's hairy, na? Anopheles mouthparts are hairy. Culex male, hairy antenna. Female antenna is not hairy. Okay. No striped wings, but in female striped wings. Wings are striped. Then next, Mansonoid annuliferia, zoophilic mosquito. Disease transmitted Malayan filariasis, chikungunya fever. Okay, Mansonoid annuliferia, Mansonia, zoophilic mosquito, chikungunya and Brugia malai filariasis. This one live now. Okay, this one Anopheles female. Wings are spotted, but no hairy antenna. No hairy antenna. Wings are spotted. Wings are spotted. Anopheles male, hairy antenna. The males have hairy antenna. Females don't have hairy antenna. Again, girls are not very heavy, whereas males are very heavy, right? Esonic anemometers, ping pong ball anemometer, pressure anemometer, plate anemometer, tube anemometer, pressure anemometer, plate anemometer, tube anemometer. So to measure speed of wind, hot wire anemometers are used for high frequency response measurements used to determine high wind forces on bridges. To measure speed of wind, anemometers are used. Hot wire anemometers are used for high frequency response measurements used to determine high wind forces on bridges. Uses used to measure the chlorine content of water, chlorometer, okay, chlorine content in times of epidemic like cholera, gastroenteritis, viral hepatitis. Free chlorine content of drinking water can be tested and monitored for effective chlorination. During epidemics, recommended level of free chlorine is 2 ppm. During epidemics, recommended chlorine level should be 2 ppm. Used to measure the chlorine content of water, chlorometer, okay. Fluoroscope used to measure the chlorine content of water in times of epidemic like cholera, gastroenteritis, viral hepatitis. Free chlorine content of drinking water can be tested and monitored for effective chlorination during epidemics. Done. What is this? Used in wine and beer making. So it works on Archimedes principle. Alcohol meter. This is alcohol meter used in wine and beer making to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid. It works on the Archimedes principle. To calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to control the fermentation of alcohol and to know whether the fermentation has finished. So to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to calculate the percentage of alcohol in the liquid, to control the fermentation of alcohol and to know whether the fermentation has finished or not, to control the fermentation and whether fermentation has finished. This is clinical thermometer. So it works on the principle of expansion. With the increase in temperature, mercury in the bulb expands and the temperature is indicated on the calibrated scale. It works on the principle of expansion. With the increase in temperature, mercury in the bulb expands and the temperature indicated on the calibrated scale. It works on the principle of expansion. It works on the principle of expansion. It works on the principle of expansion. With the increase in temperature, mercury in the bulb expands and the temperature is indicated on the calibrated scale. It works on the principle of expansion. With the increase in temperature, mercury in the bulb expands. It works on the principle of expansion. It is used to measure the temperature of human body. Let's talk about hygrometers. Hygrometer is an instrument used for measuring the moisture content in the environmental air and humidity. There are two types of hygrometers. A hygrometer is an instrument used for measuring. This is a hygrometer used for measuring moisture content in the environment. तो जब एनवायरनमेंट में मॉइस्चर होता है हाइग्रोमीटर यूज़ करता है. हाइग्रो मीन्स मॉइस्चर in the environmental air and humidity. There are two types of hygrometers: dry bulb, wet bulb. Mechanical hygrometers: wet and dry bulb hygrometer and mechanical hygrometer. Use of hygrometers primarily for the purpose of measuring and controlling humidity in greenhouses, humidors, museums and residences, as well as industrial setups that are sensitive to vapor content such as paints, food and beverages and pharmaceuticals. Because fungus will grow na if humid environment will be there. So for greenhouses, museums, the instrument, the whatever the antique pieces are there, they will get moistured and ruined now. So because of that, hygrometer is kept in the museums, residences, houses, greenhouses. Okay, vapor content such as paints, food, beverages, and pharmaceuticals. Paints will oxidize, na? That's all. So these are hydrometers. 0 to 20, 60, 80, 80 to 100. To measure the density of liquid in relation to water. Works on Archimedes principle. Brewing and wine making to check the sugar content of wine or beer. Brewing and wine making to check the sugar content of wine or beer. Grading of salts, it measures the density of these grains. Sugar content of wine or beer. Grading of salts, these are the density of grains. Measurement of density of liquid in relation to water. Okay, much principle. This one. So water filters. So domestic water filter. Commonly used in at homes is a ceramic filter useful only for clean water. For clean water, this is the candle. The essential part of it is the candle made up of fine porcelain. किसका बना होता है? Porcelain का बना होता है. Ceramic, porcelain. The filter candle can remove bacteria but not viruses. They need to be cleaned by scrubbing with hard brush under running water once a week, followed by boiling. Although they are effective in purifying water, under Indian conditions they are not suitable for widespread use. So this is the candle filter. So it consists of ceramic. This is made up of porcelain. Okay, and it can remove bacteria but cannot remove virus. For cleaning under running water, you have to scrub it. Hard brush. Now they are effective in purifying water. Okay, this is psychrometer, used for measuring the water vapor content or relative humidity of atmosphere. Psychrometer, relative humidity. You get psycho under humidity now, so it will measure relative humidity, water vapor content. The principle of heated psychrometer is that the water vapor content of an air mass does not change if it is heated. Weather observers use this measure to measure the amount of water vapor in the air, used in meteorology, used for measuring relative humidity and dew point. Okay, so this is milk lactometer, range of 0 to 40. So uses of lactometer, it is generally used in dairy products. It is used to test the richness of dairy products, especially milk. Milk. It is generally used in dairy products. It is used to test the richness of dairy products, especially milk. Range 0 to 40, lactometer. Dairy products, richness of dairy products, especially milk. Lactometer. Principle, it works on Archimedes principle of specific gravity of milk. It states that a body plunged in a fluid becomes lighter by an amount equal in weight the amount of fluid it displaces. The body, okay. The meter, this is the barometer. So barometer, mercurial barometer, generally used in laboratories, is Fortin's barometer. It is always fixed at one place, duly protected from sun, rain, wind and heat. A thermometer provided indicates the temperature of the mercury in the barometer and that of the brass tube. The barometric readings does not provide the true atmospheric pressure at sea level unless subjected to corrections on account of temperature of expansion of barometric scales, latitude of the place and height above sea level. Barometer consists of a glass tube 33 long inches long, closed at one end and open at another end. Okay. So barometer is mercury barometer. The mercurial barometer generally used in laboratories is 14's barometer. In laboratories, the mercury barometer is called 14's barometer. It is always fixed at one place. Okay, fixed at one place, duly protected from sun, rain, wind, and heat. A thermometer provided indicates the temperature of the mercury in the barometer and that of the brass tube. The barometric readings does not provide the true atmospheric pressure at sea level unless subjected to corrections on account of temperature of mercury, expansion of barometric scales, latitude of the place and height above sea level. So the normal barometer is the tube is filled with mercury and inverted over a trough. A trough also filled with mercury. The mercury column in the tube standing vertically over the trough is supported by the air column transmitted to it by the mercury in the trough. In other words, the weight of the mercury column expresses height in mm, balances the weight of the air column at that places. The vacuum appearing at the top of the vertical tube is known as Torricellian vacuum. This is bore-hole latrine. This is the latrine, bore-hole latrine. Okay, so the person sits at the top and the latrine passes down. What are the merits of bore-hole latrine? There is no need for the services of the sweepers, daily removal of night soil. The pit is dark and unsuitable for the fly breeding. It is located 15 meters away from source of water supply. It prevents water pollution. Demerit is the borehole fills rapidly because of small quantity. A special equipment called auger is required which may not be available. Many places subsoil water is high and the soil is loose and that is difficult to dig a hole deeper than 3 meters. So demerit is boreholes, it can fill rapidly because of the small capacity. So a special equipment called auger is required which may not be available. Okay, in many places subsoil water is high and the soil is loose and that it is difficult to dig deeper hole when compared to 3 meters. So because water will be there, no? This is a septic tank. This is sewage pit. Precautions: soakage pit should not be constructed near a well, otherwise water in the well may get contaminated. Merits: they are cheap and easy to construct. They do not require high degree of maintenance. Soakage pit. This is a soakage pit, not sewage. Soakage pit provides a hygienic method of disposal of liquid waste. A suitable soakage pit is about 2 meters deep, 1 meter wide and long enough to deal with household waste water. Average length being 2 to 3 meters. Fill 1/3 of the pit with coarse stones, preferably overburnt bricks. The middle portion is filled with small stones and pebbles. Uppermost portion is filled with sand. Uppermost is sand. Middle one is the stones, pebbles. The third innermost is the coarse stones. Soakage pit may be covered with earth and grass. The water waste from the house is led through a drainage pipe into the soakage pit. All kitchen waste, all that you can throw there. So these are step wells. Steps are there, na? And these are transitory well. No steps are there. Transitory well. So a transitory well is insanitary well. Insanitary, not only insanitary well. It is well which is properly located, well constructed and protected against contamination with a view to yield a supply of safe water. Well protected. Okay, well constructed. Construction location: it should be located not less than 15 meters away from source of contamination. Should be constructed on the distance between the well and user should not be more than 100 yards. Okay, within 100 yards water should be available. The lining of well should be built of stones, bricks set in cement up to depth of at least 6 meters so that water enters from the bottom, not from the sides of the well. That is parapet. There should be a parapet wall up to a height of 70 to 75 centimeter above the ground. 75 centimeter above the ground. Platform. There should be cement concrete platform round the well extending 1 meter in all directions. It should have gentle slope outward built along its edges. Covering. The top of well should not be covered with concrete cement cover because the bulk of the pollution enters the wall directly through the open mouth. Should be covered with concrete cement. जो ऊपर का कवर है concrete cement से cover होना क्योंकि dirt वगैरह ना गिरे. The well should be equipped with hand pump for lifting water in sanitary manner. The well should be equipped with hand pump for lifting water in sanitary manner. If hand pump is there, it will be very safe for all purposes, no contamination. Step wells are essentially wells in which the water can be fetched by descending a set of steps. They are most common in dry western regions of India where water storage is crucial, especially in Gujarat and Rajasthan. You can see this kind of wells. Step wells are storage and irrigation tanks that are meant to cope the seasonal fluctuation and availability of water. Also serve as excellent rainwater harvesting system for recharging the underground water. This is slow sand filter. Finally, slow sand filters. Purification, sedimentation, adsorption, oxidation, and bacterial action. Advantages: slow sand, simple to construct. Cost of construction cheap. Quality of water good. Elements of slow sand: supernatant water 1 to 1.5 meters. Bed of graded sand, graded gravel. Under drainage system, heart of the filter bed, and system of filter control valves. Removes organic matter, holds bacteria, control venturimeter cleaning, scrapings. Personal protective equipments. PPEs. So we have a lot to study. OCQs. Mineral oil, zinc phosphide, cetrulide. So different types of seeds, rice, pulses, cases. Integrated gas, how to design. I must have started yesterday at sea. It should be nice. I'm starting now. So 1, 2, 3, 4 problems are there. I have to study this.